Rugby racism claims, to a Club Med rape case, and Joburg's overflowing waste dumps. This is your premier midweek news wrap. My name's Graeme Raubenheimer. This is News 24's Unread. We begin with this story. His appearance at an Indian temple for a religious ceremony raised eyebrows, prompting our International Relations Ministry to demand accountability. But it appears as if South Africa's High Commissioner to India, Anil Sooklal, will not be sanctioned, at least for now, for taking a picture alongside former President Jacob Zuma, as well as state capture co-accused Ajay Gupta in June. Because Sooklal claims the pair's attendance at that religious ceremony was all a surprise. As News 24's MC Ferreira reports, High Commissioner Sooklal has sent his formal explanation of this controversial meeting to President Cyril Ramaphosa, in which he claims that only once he arrived at the Hindu temple was it announced that Zuma was the special guest of honor. Zuma reportedly told local media at the time that he came to India to visit his quote-unquote brother and friend who had been forced to leave South Africa. Zuma added that he wanted to win the elections and return to power back home. Sooklal since told Ramaphosa that he was not aware that Ajay Gupta would be present either. Now, according to the International Relations Ministry, there are no grounds to formally recall Sooklal at this point, but he did err in having his picture taken with Gupta. In July, Minister in the Presidency Khumbudzo Ntshabeni also blasted Zuma for undermining Pretoria's foreign policy, and government is now reviewing their funding for former leaders' travel. Meanwhile, back home, the National Prosecuting Authority is not looking to extradite any of the Gupta brothers anytime soon. That's after a 2023 bid in the courts in the United Arab Emirates had failed. Moving to this story in the south of Durban, and a deadly consequence of the country's water crisis emerged in Adams Mission recently when a water tanker had mowed down one of the town's residents there. As News 24's Sakaseni Nxumalo reports, commotion broke out in the area when the eThekwini metro truck arrived this past Sunday, following days of dry taps for irate locals who sometimes have no supply for weeks on end. Some there accused the truck operator of illegally selling off the crucial water supply, which the council says it is now investigating. According to his brother Sakile, this is when a curious Tselane Zungu went to see what all the noise was about, not to intervene, but to collect water for the family. As Tselane crossed the road, it's understood that the truck suddenly struck him, with shocked residents chasing after the vehicle. The Zungu family now demands justice, with eThekwini Mayor Cyril Gqeberha visiting to offer his condolences. Police have since registered a culpable homicide case. Staying in KwaZulu-Natal now, and you may find the following story disturbing, and it's since emerged that a French employee based at South Africa's very first Club Med, based on the Dolphin coastline, has been accused of raping an 18-year-old guest. But this employee claims it was all consensual and has since been granted bail by the local KwaZulu-Natal Magistrates Court. As News 24's Anil Sooklal reports, state prosecutors' papers show that the 35-year-old Club Med staffer, which we cannot name at this point, allegedly plied the 18-year-old man with alcohol before raping him whilst incapacitated. The employee was arrested late July and his bail application had been delayed ever since. Now, anti-GBV activist Paul Walsh, who's been speaking on behalf of the teen survivor's family, has raised the alarm that the teen's drink may have been spiked at the time. The police's investigating officer, Temenkosi Mnyandu, took the stand earlier this week, arguing that if the accused got bail, Club Med could just simply suspend the person and fly them off to France. But the accused has since been ordered to surrender his passport to the authorities. In the meantime, the teen refuses to appear in court, citing in legal papers that he's too traumatized at this point. We'll update you on the story as and when it develops. Moving to this story now, and allegations and denials of racism on the school sporting field have dominated the debate this week. Hoërskool Menlo Park has formally rubbished claims that its old boys were behind racist remarks hurled at players of the first team Ajay Jansen rugby team in Pretoria this past weekend. An apparent similar situation played out between two Cape Town schools as well. As News 24 Sports' Herman Mostert reports, the Pretoria-based school rugby derby had to be called off following a brawl between Boksburg's Hoërskool Dr. Ajay Jansen first-team players and spectators said to be from Menlo Park. Ajay Jansen now claims Menlo Park old boys had been drinking under a gazebo by their goal line, lobbing racial slurs before parents had asked teachers to intervene. But Hoërskool Menlo Park has since denied this, insisting that even neutral match officials have concluded that that quote-unquote racist remarks are entirely without foundation, and that it's disappointing that these claims were made days after the brawl. Meanwhile, in Cape Town, the derby between Durbanville's Fairmont High and Bellville's Settlers High was also abandoned after the ref had recalled hearing the K word being uttered on the field. Both the Western Cape and Gauteng education departments have condemned the allegations of racism. They've both launched their own separate investigations here. It also comes on a weekend where several other schools held their own rugby derbies without incident. Swinging to other stories now, and your favorite neighborhood Spider-Man has made South African cinema history. Sony Studios reports that the latest Marvel movie, Spider-Man Brand New Day, raked in a whopping 44 million rand for the local box office in its opening weekend. It's the highest in the country's history. The flicks also eclipsed the previous record holder, Avengers Endgame, at the US and Canada box office opening weekend, generating an eye-watering 6 billion rand there. Starring the ever-popular British star Tom Holland as Peter Parker, the all-encompassing Zendaya as Mary Jane, and Jacob Batalon as lovable best friend Ned, Brand New Day sees Spider-Man emerge from isolation to take on a new foe. No spoilers, please, but News 24's Joel Ontong argues that this is the reset our favourite web-slinger has always needed, all ahead of the much-anticipated Avengers Doomsday in December. Spider-Man Brand New Day also hits local IMAX theatres this weekend. There's been a hell of a lot of debate amongst us comic book fans here in the News 24 newsroom. I give it a 3.5 out of 5. Some of my colleagues tend to differ, but I want to hear from you. Let us know in the comments below. What's your rating for Spider-Man Brand New Day? To Gqeberha we go now, and it's meant to be the police's efficient rapid response unit. But the SAPS flying squad in the city appears to be down in the dumps these days. And it's nothing new. As News 24's Lynn Williams reports from Nelson Mandela Bay, the city's flying squad currently only has one vehicle, a bakkie, to deploy in the officers' daily fight against armed robberies and hijackings. And even then, according to some unnamed officials, the bakkie needs fresh tires. Can you believe it? Some have even used their own private vehicles to fight crime, which police union Pop Crew has come on record to say it's frowning upon, calling this wrong. It adds that police management is aware of the long-held problem and cars are available but are in for repairs in the state garage in Bishu. Throughout July, though, Eastern Cape Police had to deal with numerous cases, 10 of which News 24 has identified, including from deadly shootings to robberies and mob violence. Heading off now in the former city of gold, where getting your bin cleared on time every week appears to be quite the luxury. The city of Johannesburg's continued cash crunch comes as waste dumps overflow and pick-it-up depots remain shut due to a long-standing labour dispute. As News 24's Alex Patrick reports, part-time pick-it-up workers want to be made permanent, all while the city grapples with promises made to Union SAMWU to adjust wages, which would cost billions the National Treasury says Joburg simply does not have. Compounding the labour issue, the Johannesburg Community Action Network says the Metro's waste dumps, except 2, have now reached their capacity, with the city spending millions more for waste trucks to reach private dumps much further away. These 2 municipal dumps only have about a year left, it's understood, before they too reach 100% full. Pick It Up this week told the press there'd been fresh delays in waste collection as these casual workers protested, allegedly blocking the entrances to depots in Randburg and Roodepoort, among others. The city waste entity has also been red flagged by the Auditor General for the usual unauthorized, wasteful and irregular spending. We're back with you bright and early on Sunday morning for a wrap of the week that was. My name's Graeme Raubenheimer, and cheers for now.